Metal is just noise. Or is it? It's just screaming. There's no talent involved. There's nothing involved. It's just a mixture of noise added together. So the way I see it, this is a common phrase I've heard many people use. Metal isn't all about screaming or any of that. You have metal, jazz metal. You have pop metal even. Not that heavy and kind of more for like emo kids or people that are just like going into like metal or whatever the hell else. Atmospheric metal. In the instrumental. You have progressive metal. There's different types of metal that you haven't listened to. Now, obviously, I believe that it is true to some extent that some metal bands are just noise. And those are the most extreme parts of the metal group, metal genre. And what I mean by that is subgenres such as porno grind, brutal death metal, and gore grind, and things like that. Those are probably the most messed up, crazy, fucked up, like noise-making genres. For example, there's a group called Guttural Secrete, which is basically a brutal death metal band, and I'm gonna show you what they sound like right here.
After her, he got lazy.
So yeah, that was Guttural Secrete. You wouldn't believe, but there are many brilliant guitarists out there in the metal genre. I mean, if you hate metal and you think metal is just noise, listen to the old school stuff. Black Sabbath, Metallica, Anthrax, any of those kind of bands. Old school stuff like, and you'll see the difference that metal isn't just noise. But those are the old school bands I'm talking about. If you listen to Black Sabbath and tell me that is just noise, there's seriously something wrong with you. Because Black Sabbath has one of the most iconic metal riffs in the entire world. The Crazy Train riff, the beginning of it. You tell me, does that sound like noise to you? Does that sound like noise? But there's also the newer metal. You know, there's the new kind of groups coming in and everything else. Let me give you an example. There's this band called Make Them Suffer. Their newest album, Old Souls, is a fantastic album, which includes really heavy music with really melodic and symphonic sound to it. So I'm gonna give you a listen to a song called Ether, which is one of their singles. And that was Ether. Now you tell me, is this music or is this still noise? Because there's plenty of bands out there that play music like that. Like kind of melodic, very symphonic, very different. And there's different types of bands like that. It's not all about... Not all bands are like that. Not every single band out there is like that. Metal isn't for everyone because it's different. It doesn't sound like pop. It doesn't sound like the same shit they've heard in their entire lives or most of the time. It's not the same thing you hear on the charts. I understand where you're coming from saying that metal could be noise because there's some bands that do have that certain criteria where they're just trying to make it as brutal as humanly possible and make it as extreme as possible without making any sense. And of course the band logos and stuff could give that away as well, but you know, that's a different story. But the way I see it is, you can't judge a whole genre of music based on one band or one subgenre of the whole genre. Because if you assume every single band sounds like Cannibal Corpse or Napalm Death or, I don't know, like Guttural Secrete, then you have a problem. Because the reason why I hate pop, I'll tell you that, is because it sounds exactly the same. Every single song. And the reason why I can't say that is because I've listened to so much pop my entire life and because it's popular music. So it's always out there. So you always can listen to it. You can always find a pop song. It's that easy. And that is why I hate it. Because I've heard it so many times and it's the same exact thing all the time. Metal has a different, as like so many subgenres and different types of metal that you wouldn't even believe exist. Let me name out a few. We have your normal ones like heavy metal and thrash metal. You know, like proper old school stuff like Slayer, Exodus, Anthrax, Metallica, all these other bands like, you know, Megadeth and all these other bands. These are like classics, you know. Then we move on to industrial metal, which is like Rammstein. New metal, such as bands like Slipknot and Limp Bizkit. Next we have progressive metal, prog. Now this is a very relaxed kind of like metal kind of genre where most of the bands playing usually have singers in them. They have singers and normal vocalists, like metal vocalists, but they also have singers in them. Now, a band that I know from progressive metal, which is amazing, is TesseracT. This is a British band, and I suggest you look them up, actually. Actually, I'll show you one of their songs right now. Gent. No, this is even gent is extremely diverse. For a subgenre, even that is strongly extremely diverse because there's bands that are really heavy gent and like really relaxing gent. So we're giving you two examples of I'm gonna give you an example of very heavy gent and the very chill gent. Very heavy gent is Meshuggah and Heart of a Coward. Very, very heavy bands, extremely heavy bands, and they're in the same genre as the next band I'm gonna call out, which is a gent band that is instrumental, and that is Andromida. I'm gonna show you Andromida right now. And that was Andromida. And there's other metal genres out there, subgenres. Math metal, math metal, deathcore, metalcore, post-hardcore, black metal, death metal, black and death, Christian metal even. There's loads. That's just me naming out a few. There's doom metal, there's folk metal, pagan metal. There's a lot of different types of metal out there. There's gothic metal. There's symphonic metal. There's loads, man. There's so many different subgenres of metal. I could go on the whole day talking about how many subgenres of metal there are. But anyways, I'm rambling on way too much now, and I think I've explained my points in a lot of detail. So hope you guys enjoyed this video. This was the Metal Lad. Like, comment, share, subscribe, everything else, and have a great day. And I'll see you guys next time. Peace.